All right. Hi, everyone. All right, let me see if I can call up the chat here. I'm so tired. I have not been to bed yet. I stayed up. I went to this fall festival in our town. Let me turn this down here. See if we've got anybody here. Oh, we got a few people here. Hi, how you doing? Happy Saturday. Oh, Kathleen Kennedy's in the chat. No. It's just salt in the wound. Every day, it's just salt in the wound. Hi, everyone. Let's wait until we get some people in here. Ugh, go to sleep. I can't. I will go to sleep in a little bit. I'm gonna make this quick video. I was like, am I gonna record this video or am I gonna just do it live? And I figured, let's just do it live. Let's get some people in here. I get 500 people in here. That'd be a good way to do it. Even though it's Saturday afternoon. It's a Saturday. Well, is it afternoon yet? Yeah, it's just barely Saturday afternoon. Ava is down here in the basement with me, so if you hear her chirping in the background, she's she's playing with toys. Can you guys hear her? No, you cannot have a shout out, F face. That face went, or the feels when EVS streams more than Zach. Well, Zach barely streams anymore. I don't think he streams very often, does he? I never get a notification for one of his streams. I don't know what he's doing. She is jovial. Hi. You want to sit on my lap? You kind of do? Uppy? Okay, uppy. All right. We're still waiting. We've got 200 and... We got 282 people in here. Let's just wait a little while longer. Do you have anything that you want to say to the world? Now you freeze up? Now you're not so sure? Just pound on the desk. Okay. All right. Everyone says, hey, Ava. What's up, Ava? Co-host Ava. Are you my co-host? Yeah. Don't touch that button. If you touch that button, it'll mute the microphone. Good girl. All right, you go down. You go play. Go play with those Star Wars toys. Everyone's always saying, hey, why don't you give those Star Wars toys to a kid? Why don't you be the kid that plays with those Star Wars toys? That would be good. That's a shame. It's a shame to give those Star Wars toys to a kid. Confirm Kavanaugh, says Aquita. Yeah, I think so. I think that's got to happen. And it's weird how bitter it is. It's crazy. Michael says Ava kick EVS. She does, believe me. She kicks me all the time, right in the face. All right, 384 people here. That's a good start. Oh, do I have to do this? I don't want to do this. Made one video about Gail Simone. Made a video about Gail Simone, talked about what it was like to work with Gail Simone, to know Gail Simone, the reason why I don't talk to Gail Simone anymore. And of course, it's like, I think I actually said in the video, I said, Gail, I know you're watching this. Gail did watch it and has a response. And the response is very, very thoughtful. You read it and it's kind of wistful. It was written for an audience. It wasn't written for me. It was written for other people to read, which is, typical of Gail. We can go through it. I mean, I will go through this with, my heart on my sleeve. That's what I do. I wear my heart on my sleeve. We've almost got 500 people now. 456. I'll bet we'll get it pretty soon. I've never spoken to Gail Simone, says Carl Mayer. Something Real is in its final hour, says Jesse Miller. Yeah, go back Something Real. That's a very, very good project. That looks so cool. It looks totally awesome. We need a The Future is Fandom t-shirt, EVS. That's a good idea. Yeah. All right, here we go. I think we're there. 489, 11 more people, and then I begin. You know why I do that? Scott Adams does it. Scott Adams is like, I'm going to wait. We're not going to start until there are 500 people in here. And he just sits around and drinks coffee until 500 people come in. And then, we're over. Fire. 508 people. All right, let's screen share. Ava, you want to come up here? All right, sweetie. Ahoy Comics. That's a scam. All right, here it is. This is the beat. That is Gail Simone looking like she's gonna beat some ass. Let's pull this up. The beat comic website I never use. I think it's run by Heidi McDonald, who I always thought was kind of like Comics' Dorothy Kilgallen. Kind of a, I don't know. It's just it was never Newsarama. It was never CBR. It always seemed like kind of insular, like it was friends of friends of friends who got to work on the beat, got to work at the beat, and had articles written at the beat. So I never read it. Never really participated in it. You want to come up here? You can come up. Ugh, all right. Can you say the beat? Oh, okay. Hang on one second. Okay, I'm back. Let me put my headphones on. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Ava was crawling up me, and I think she needed a diaper change. So I changed the last diaper. I handed her off. All right, here we go. Wow. Heel versus babyface, 20 pounds. Thank you. Morning, Ethan. I found this 20-pound note on the floor. Did you drop it here? Take it. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that. All right. As I've said, I have not slept. I've been awake since yesterday afternoon working on Cyberfrog. And then I went to this fall festival, which was really nice, and came home and I was watching game shows upstairs when on the game show network, like old game shows from the 70s, Match Game and stuff like that. I love that stuff. Somebody alerted me about this article and was like, you have to respond to this. And I read it and I was like, all right, here we go. This stuff all sucks. Gail Simone responds to Ethan Van Sciver by the Beat staff. Comic artist turned commentator. Ethan Van Sciver. No, I'm still a comic artist. You may have heard of a book I'm doing called Cyberfrog, but I am a commentator as well. I am the Rush Limbaugh of pop culture YouTube. I am. That's what I've become. I'm pretty good at this. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. Really enjoy it. It's actually my favorite part of the day. Recently posted a video on his YouTube channel leveling a series of attacks. These attacks at writer Gail Simone. I don't think they were attacks, Gail. I think that I was just explaining what happened between us. Attacks would be different. Attacks would be me making accusations at you. And I don't think I made any accusations. And I don't think I said anything that was false. I just said, explained what working with Gail was like and why we no longer speak when we were pretty good friends, I thought, and all of that. All right, so many of them related to a Firestorm comic the two worked on together in 2011. Yeah, that kind of rant. Van Sciver's video spanned 90 minutes. Well, listen, it wasn't all about Gail. A 90-minute live stream from me, as you guys know, is usually on one topic for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then it turns into me talking to you guys and aimlessly chit-chatting and reading super chats. So anyway, so this is sadly, it's become unsurprising from the artist. Well, I don't think it's sad. I like my rants. Do you guys like my rants? I think live streams are supposed to be rants. It's usually they're just entertaining, kind of. Yeah. No, you don't like them. You don't like my rants. Yes, somebody does. A couple do. Michael says best rants in the biz. All right, good. Most of you are now saying that you fucking love the rants. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just a kind of train of thought. We talk about what we're thinking about and what we feel, and then we complain sometimes. Often we complain, but that's it's cathartic. People like listening to other people rant. Uh, this has become unsurprising from the artist. That's correct. It's not surprising when I turn in a brilliant rant. I do it every single day, except for like 2 days ago when the live stream was a bunch of comic skaters singing. And by the way, yeah, 80 minutes of it is pie commentary. You're exactly right. We all talk about pie. Mostly you guys are telling me about pie, and I respond to you and tell you what the pie situation is. That's about 80 minutes. 10 minutes might be devoted to Gail Simone, at least in one case. I'd have to go back and listen. If I told the whole story of Gail Simone and it might take 30 minutes. I don't know. I can't remember, but it definitely wasn't 90 minutes. Once, once a celebrated creator of marquee superhero projects, once uh that doesn't go away. I'm still a celebrated creator of marquee superhero projects. They're just not a DC anymore. But I mean, those are still there. Those don't go away. And I like this idea of trying to push me into the past. It's a very deliberate effort by SJWs to go, he's gone now. It's very sad. He destroyed he destroyed everything about his career. And he was once Ethan was a celebrated creator of marquee superhero projects. And then we scroll down to the end here, and we notice Gail brings up the fact that I have 70,000 fans on YouTube to quote rile up. Sounds like I'm still celebrated. I can't remember the last time any comic I did for DC Comics sold more than 70,000 copies. It might have been maybe the Batman Metal thing that I did. Probably did 100 and something, 110. But I mean, seriously, nothing I did with Gale sold that well. And also, Green Lantern didn't do that well either. Not post Jeff Johns. I mean, it's just I think Green Lantern Rebirth did great. Green Lantern after Rebirth kind of slowly settled into sort of the 50,000 zone. So yeah, I'm still celebrated. I'm pretty celebrated. I would say Cyberfrog is a marquee superhero project. It's the most talked about comic book. Can I say that? Let me think about it. Is Cyberfrog the most talked about comic book on the internet right now? Yes, I think it is. I think it is the most talked about comic book. I think it's the most talked about comic book on the internet right now. That would be marquee. All right. Van Sciver no longer works for Marvel, not since 2003, nor DC, not since June or May, and has now firmly established himself. Look at this. Look at this evil here. Firmly established himself as the face of. And what is this here? Why is the O and the A censored out? Why is that? What's that about? What does that mean? What kind of stupid SJW cowardice is this? What evil is this? I don't know. In parentheses, at best, a misguided and poorly informed consumer movement. All right. The beat, you can't listen. Why don't you let Gail do the editorializing, you hacks? Why are you guys doing this? Why don't you just set up a kind of, hey, the face of Comicsgate, a controversial would be okay, a controversial movement. This, at worst, an organized right-wing hate campaign that predominantly targets marginalized fans and creators. This is a lie. You guys are scumbags, officially. Now, if Gail Simone wanted to say this in her rant, she could. That would be perfectly appropriate. But this is garbage tier for the beat to actually express that. That's two people expressing opinions. Two. Well, the beat staff, we don't know who the beat staff is, who wrote this. It's all nasty business, of which much has been said. No, it isn't. It's not. It's just business. It's not nasty at all unless, you're referring to the way that anti-Comicsgate won't leave us alone. And we just want to be left alone to do our own thing. Uh, the nastiness is all entirely directed at us from anti-Comicsgate. And yeah, much has been said, and you'll continue to say it. I don't know why you guys won't just be quiet. If you guys just were quiet, you would stop directing more and more people towards us, and we would stop succeeding so gloriously. More people find out about us and realize that this is all nonsense, and then we just keep doing better and better and better and better. That's undeniable. This morning, however, Simone responded directly to Van Sciver with a post on her Facebook, which described the past friendship between herself and the artist. She complimented, oh, this was on her Facebook. I thought this was for the beat. She complimented his talent often and noted that there were problems on Firestorm, but refuted nature of those problems and almost every other claim in that video, painting a picture of bitter and distorted perception on his behalf. Okay. Read her Facebook post below in its entirety. Jesus Christ, she says. First, she prays to the Lord Jesus. He can't help you, Gail. I just watched some of Ethan Van Sciver's long video rant about me. It wasn't even a rant, Gail. It was me recounting a story. Everybody wants to know. Everybody always asks me. They say, why aren't you talking to Gail Simone anymore? You and Gail Simone. And people ask me so much that, finally, after reading a bunch of kind of passive aggressive shots at me that you take, and my friends, I thought it was fair to actually say historically what happened. You're going to add to that. I mean, I think you're going to add some information here. A lot of it's true. It's also irrelevant, but we'll get into that. It's the oddest thing ever. Everything's weird to you, Gail. Everything's odd and weird. Everything doesn't make sense. Everything's crazy. Everything's stupid. And that's the thing about you. It's very odd, isn't it? It's the first of these I've watched of his videos, and I had to stop. Ethan conveniently forgets a lot here. All right, let's go through it. I am not mean enough to respond in kind about anything personal, and yet you do. What did I say that was personal about you? Can I ask, Gail? What did I say in my rant that was personal about you? I didn't say anything about you personally. I didn't talk about the kind of person you were. I didn't talk about anything about your life, any of the stuff that you imparted to me about your family, your kids, stuff that happened to you, scary stories, weirdo stuff that you told me. I didn't say any of that. I didn't say anything personal. I didn't talk about what your real name is. I didn't say any of that. So when you say I'm not mean enough to respond in kind about anything personal, in kind, I didn't say anything personal to you. This is personal. You get personal with me, or with everyone. You start telling people personal things about me here. When I was talking about you entirely in terms of business and what it's like to work with you and to call you a friend. She says, we were friends for a long time. Ethan would talk to me every day. Well, when we were working, I think I would talk to you, not every day, maybe once a week, sometimes for hours. Yes, on a couple of occasions, I talked to Gail Simone for hours. We disagreed about politics, but we agreed about what made good comics. Ethan and I shared, I think, a similar problem. We took comics very personally, and we were both extremely resentful of what we thought was unnecessary and damaging interference in the work. Interesting. I disagree. That is not something. You're not speaking for me here. You're speaking for you. I have always been extremely respectful of editorial. I don't own these properties. If I can't work with an editor, I don't work with an editor. But I've always been extremely respectful. Even when things were difficult. I think working on Flash Rebirth towards the end, redesigning Wally West was extremely difficult editorially. But I did it. I worked through it like a professional. I never fought with editors like you did. I never called editors stupid like you did. I never made editorial life hell like you did. I never pit my fellow creators against editorial like you did. Constantly. Ethan began to have some issues. I think he was suffering from depression. I say this completely without judgment. He was going through a hard time. Gail, this is called I was going through a divorce, having some issues. Well, it's called going through a divorce. Was I suffering from depression in 2013, 2012, 13? Yeah, I was going through divorce. She says, I say this completely without judgment. I think that's fair. I think that's a good thing. I don't think you should judge people who are going through a divorce. It's the worst time of their life. He was going through a hard time. Where our original discussions were fun and our debate lively, we both started struggling a lot during the new 52, and Firestorm in particular was an unending nightmare because of you. Damn it. Oh, I wish this, uh, yeah. Maybe he wasn't experiencing full blown depression. I'm not a doctor, but he went very dark for a long time. Yeah, I've talked about this. I was annoyed after Flash Rebirth, and right after Flash Rebirth, I started just traveling a lot. Because I stopped working. I stopped working for DC. I stopped doing, books. I called myself semi-retired, and just did a lot of conventions. And doing a lot of conventions and not being home, I don't know, a bunch of stuff, just caused me and my wife to drift apart. We weren't really. She was into guns. I wasn't into guns at all. We didn't have the same interest. She didn't like comics. That's a big problem. And so, yeah, we began to drift apart and get divorced. We were getting divorced. So, is that full blown depression? It wasn't chemical. It was just the circumstances of my life. I'm not a doctor, but he went very dark for a long time. Oh, about a year, Gail. And I felt terrible for him. I was pretty dark myself for a good bit. Yes, you were. If he was depressed, I wouldn't blame him at all. Why can't you just say I was going through a divorce? Why do you make this sound like I had mental problems? I was going through a divorce. I had a son. I didn't want to be divorced. This was all, this isn't about, you make it sound like this was something weird. I mean, my God. All right, so let's keep going. I wouldn't blame him at all. He was going through a lot. Just say it. Here's the kind of terrible friend I am. When things were at their worst for him, he made a deal with his ex-wife, who was then my wife. He was allowed to talk to one friend about the problems he's experiencing. I don't recall this because I had a couple of friends that I was talking to about what was going wrong. When you're going through a divorce and it's your first divorce and your first marriage and all this stuff, it's a weird experience. I pity anyone who goes through it. I remember like other people going through divorces at the same time and just like sympathizing with them and being like, this is hell. Isn't this awful? I mean, this is the worst thing in the world. And you just want to talk about it. You just want to talk about it to people and just try to just get your feet on the ground. It just feels, everything feels dark. Everything feels black. Everything feels like, what's my future going to be past this? It's a very upsetting time. And Gail, I spoke to Gail maybe 2 or 3 times where she would call me up and she'd be like, are you okay? And I'd be like, I'm not so okay, Gail. And she'd be like, well, you want to talk. And Gail was an extremely sympathetic listener. And she was very, very good at, let me think, like what was talking to Gail Simone like about this? No, she was a very good listener, a very good friend, and I don't know if she had advice that I could relate to ever, but she listened and would sort of be encouraging, and sort of a supportive kind of shoulder to lean on a little bit. I mean, it was I didn't. It's not. She makes it sound like I was calling her every day. I had better friends than Gail, that I actually did lean on through this. But Gail was interesting because I always thought Gail was very, very intelligent and very smart. And so I would be interested in what she would have to say about all this. Gail would also assess things that she felt were wrong with my wife. And she would just kind of say, is this going on? Is this going on? So it was, whatever it was good to talk to her. And I think I did talk to her like that, like 2 or 3 times. He could vent to that friend only. I don't know what she's talking about here. One friend about the problems. That's just I mean, I don't know why she's saying that. I was talking to a lot of people. a lot of people about my divorce. All my friends. I got a council of all my friends together to help me through that. Like, that was for real. That was the one time when I needed all my friends, and Gail was one of them, but she wasn't the only one. And if I had to pick only one, it wouldn't have been Gail. And he chose me to be that friend, and I listened and tried to help where I could for a long, long time because friends do that. Thanks, Gail. No, sincerely, I appreciate that because Gail did listen to me talk about my divorce like 2 or 3 times for a long time, and she was very helpful. Most people who know him will say he changed a lot during this time. Yeah, definitely. I thought so too, but I also thought it was understandable. I don't want to reveal personal stuff, but he had a lot on his plate, and I felt terrible for him. Gail, it was a divorce. What? It sounds like I was going to war and I was going through a divorce. You can just say that. Ethan, the fact that none of that counts as actual friendship to you now, and I'm just some deceitful SJW, is both hurtful and nonsensical. This is a straw man. Gail, if you're listening, this is a straw man. This is shameful. This is the way you talk. This is the reason why you are deceitful. Ironically, because you set up straw men like this constantly. No, that did count as actual friendship to me. You understand? I trusted you. I really did. I thought, you were a real pain to work with. I mean, you were a real pain to work with. But I always wanted to help. I always valued your friendship. You were always really helpful. And, in terms of other things. And I always thought you were a really good friend. So for you to say I am now just some deceitful SJW is both hurtful and nonsensical, you just made that up. I don't think that about you. I don't think that about you. I asked for nothing from you ever. Uh, no. And I was there for you endlessly. I'm sure you had pro friends leeching off of you, but I never asked you for a blessed thing. Okay, hang on. Let me get some water. We're going to glug for a minute here. That's true. Did she ever ask me for anything? She did, but it's not that big a deal. I know you're going to read this. I am. I'm reading it aloud right now. And I know you're going to listen to this. And you should know, those same people talking bad things about me to you were talking bad things about you to me too. One pretty big name said I was the last human being who could still talk to Ethan Van Sciver. That would be Mark Wade. There's a lot more. I don't feel great about repeating that stuff, so I won't. Gail, everyone told me not to work with you. I don't feel great about repeating that either. But, the way this industry is, it's gossipy, it's childish. It is. We both know that. The idea that people would say this about me, wow, when I was going through a divorce, I might have been a little more difficult. I might have been a little more dark. I might have been a little more sad, difficult to talk to, angry. Okay. Well, that's it's typical. I mean, we know how these people are. Most of Comicsgate, a good percentage of what Comicsgate is about the fact that these comic book professionals are incredibly strange people who don't human very well. That's kind of what it's about. All right, so there's a bunch of stuff in the rant. If I'm being charitable, could just be how things were presented to you rather than a deliberate spin. Well, I lived through them, but there are some facts that you omitted. All right, let's have it. First, all 3 of our projects together, you came to me. That's correct. I did. Because I was constantly being offered work and I needed a writer, and you weren't doing anything. And that's a fact. I mean, nothing of substance. You would have maybe one book. You were capable of writing 3 books, and you were not at any of the times that I came to you. You were not working to your full capacity, and that's me being generous. You might remember, if you think back, that I didn't want to do Firestorm. Oh, I do remember it. I turned it down several times. I turned it down to you. I turned it down to the editor. I turned it down to Bob multiple times. You talked me into it by virtue of your cool ideas, which I still think were brilliant. If I was leeching on your wonderfulness, why did it take all of you pitching me repeatedly to get me to agree. I didn't say you were leeching on my wonderfulness at all. I didn't. I came to you. I said I want you to write this. You agreed. I remember you did have to be talked into it. Uh, there's a whole Bleeding Cool article about this, in fact, which was like pretty much on the money. I didn't comment on it. Rich Johnson sent me the Bleeding Cool article about you and Firestorm. He said, "What do you say about this? Do you have a comment?" And I went, "Nope." He's like, "Did I get it right?" I'm like, "No comment, no comment, no comment." You got it exactly right. As for did she quit or was she fired? I have no idea what receipts you have, but you know very well I quit. That's correct. That's correct, Gail. You quit. They cornered you. They gave you something unreasonable. You refused to do a bunch of work, and they said either get this work done, immediately, or you're going to be fired, and you quit. So you did quit. The stuff you left out is this: they wouldn't let me do your cool stuff. That's not true. I turned in a script that was much more like what you talked about, and they made me rewrite it 3 times. The book had constant editorial interference. Oh, Gail. That's how you perceived it. I know you perceived it that way. You perceived it as constant editorial interference. They did make you rewrite it 3 times. At no point was your script ever anything like what I told you to write, ever. It never was. Produce the script, Gail. I still have it. I've got all your scripts. It never resembled anything like what I talked about. It was your version of something else. I don't know. You wanted to make it more kind of about. You wanted to make it more about the differences between Ronnie and Jason. Jason being black and Ronnie being white, and how their difficulties, et cetera, et cetera. And I agreed. I thought that, there should be some of that in there. There should be a little bit of like, racial tension. You could do a little SJW-ness in there, but mostly what it was about this wider, concept of nuclear proliferation. It was about the Cold War. And you didn't know anything about the Cold War. You didn't know anything about communism when I talked to you. It was weird. You didn't. I had this. I told you, like, don't, we want to kind of make this analogous to the Cold War, and you didn't know what I meant. It was real. I thought I didn't know that you didn't know this stuff. The book had constant editorial interference. No, the editor was a sweetheart. You told me right away. You said, "Oh, I can't say this." Gail, the editorial problems were because of you, because of your inability to work with that particular editor. You made that clear right away. You made it clear right away. You told me, in fact, you gossiped with me that other people, creators, had similar opinions that you had about this editor, and that you were angry and you wanted to see if we could get it kicked to a different editor. I have all that. I'll have all those emails. I agreed with you. I said, okay, well, let's try. I'll ask on your behalf. I have no opinion about this editor. If you've got a serious problem, let's check. Editorial said no. And I said, then that's it. We're getting to work. And you never got over that. You were like dragging a stubborn mule through this book. And you know that to be true. They asked for constant rewrites, and there was always from what you had come up with. It was always no, it wasn't, Gail. I pretty much at this point in time, I kind of said, well, this is my idea. This is my general idea. Here's what I would like to happen overall. And you basically were kind of allowed, because I didn't care that much. I have to be honest with you. Firestorm was something that I was doing half-heartedly. It was an idea I had. I was being paid to write the plot or to be co-plotter, but I was just talking to you. It was always you. All of the characters in issues 1 through 3 were your characters. All of the ideas were your ideas. And I did almost nothing. She says, I hated it. I felt like dropping your cool ideas was a terrible direction. Oh God, should I get the emails out? I can't get the emails out because I'd be betraying DC Comics' confidence. You're not supposed to do that. I'd be betraying the editor's confidence. I can't. Hmm. Okay, so one email in particular had me saying, "Gail, you've got to start using my ideas." And she said, "I feel like none of me is getting through in this book." She said, "None of me is getting through." And I pointed out to her, I said, "Every single aspect of issues 1 through 3 are yours. The villains are yours. This character Zither is yours. All of this is yours. You did all this. Like, I didn't create any of this." Here's where I wanted to go. I wanted to introduce, reintroduce Pozar as the Russian Green Lantern or Green Lantern, Russian Firestorm. And it wasn't until issue 4 that we were able to do that because I wrote issue 4. Um, and you were complaining all the time. Yeah, I remember you wanting to quit, but you didn't quit. The entire New 52 was a weird era. And I am far from the only writer who struggled with what seemed like an incoherent editorial edict. Do you see this right here? This line right here. This should sum up for you exactly. This is proof of the attitude that existed right here. Okay. I'm sitting here going, hey, we're being allowed to do a Firestorm book. We're working with a pretty good editor. They like my idea. We're going with the idea. You agreed to write this idea with me. And this is how you perceived it. And even now, this is what you say. Incoherent editorial edict. That's how you perceived it. And because you perceived it that way, you made it very, very difficult. You made it very difficult for everyone. You made it difficult for me. You made it difficult for Rachel. You made it difficult for the artist. It was just difficult. It was awful. Every day was awful. I said, this is the worst experience I've ever had on a comic book. By making Firestorm seem like an outlier, you are deliberately ignoring the context that dozens of books were having similar difficulties with the new edicts. Well, I don't recall that. I just recall working with you. I wasn't working on any of these books, and I never had difficulty with any of the edicts. No, I didn't have problems with editorial. Hang on, I have to get another thing of water. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, I'm out of glug juice. Well, it's just water. It's cold water, but yeah, I'm something's still in the back of my throat from when I was sick. I can't get rid of this completely. Okay, so this is the contradiction here. Dropping your cool ideas was a terrible direction. Okay, nobody said drop your cool ideas. In fact, DC Comics was saying, "Where is your cool idea? Where are they? Where are your cool ideas that we approved of?" And then this incoherent editorial edict. This was you. This was your attitude problem. Right here, this is your attitude problem. You expressed this attitude about our particular editor, and she tried to work with you. She was very, very professional. I enjoyed her. I enjoyed working with her. By making Firestorm seem like an outlier, you're deliberately ignoring the context that dozens of books were having similar difficulties with the new edicts. Name them. Name them. I recall books succeeding. Most books succeeding. A couple books were not succeeding. Most of them seemed to be doing pretty well. My complaint was I wanted what we had come up with. All DC wanted was dark, dark, dark. I don't recall that at all. So I tried to quit after issue 4, which you plotted. I said I want out. The group editor at the time refused to let me leave until issue 6. That's not what happened. I was annoyed and miserable, but I bit the bullet and happily quit the moment issue 6 came out. That's not what happened. And then I left 10 seconds after, as I promised. Then I left 10 seconds after. I'm again going to attribute this to a faulty memory, but I know this is what happened. Gail, I have the emails. I actually have the emails. I've reviewed them. That isn't what happened. I know you did want to leave after 4. I do think that they wanted you to stay on until 6 and past that, but I'll have to. I might dig out those emails again. But yeah, it was. Yeah, if you think about it, and I have the receipts as well. Okay. And again, DC didn't like the book any better with you fully in charge. Well, I wasn't. I was never fully in charge. I ever. We hired Joe Harris to come on board, and Joe Harris was in charge. And this time, I kind of stepped up. Joe Harris listened to me, and the book started to do much better. In fact, you could go ahead and look at issues 8 and 9 of A Fury of Firestorm, which I drew, co-wrote, and Joe Harris, uh, co-plotted and scripted, and those 2 issues are great. They're great. DC did like them, but it doesn't matter. I mean, by the time here's the thing about comics. Uh, when you're on issue 8 and 9, and issues 1 through 3 were a disaster, your book is dead. It's just dead. You can't save it at that point. You can't save it. Someday in private, I'll tell you what they said to me about me leaving the book. I could tell you. It may change your view of events a bit. Well, all right. Well, maybe somebody told you something, but the people actually involved told me something else. After Firestorm, we were not as close. Yeah. What came first? This is what I can't remember. Did Composites come first? And then I think Composites came first, and then Firestorm was added to that. I think you know why. I don't know why, except that you made Firestorm a pain. And it did affect my enthusiasm for Composites. It bothers me too that it's unfinished. One thing I've said a million times and still say, I think you're a spectacular idea man. Then why don't you use any of my ideas? You run over my ideas, and when I try to ask you to do my ideas, you say, stop bullying me. You say, you're steamrolling me and bullying me. No, could you use some of my ideas? As for the Lois scene, it's been an age. I don't remember how long it was. 8 pages doesn't seem right, but who knows? It was 8 pages. But I do remember we had a plan to make Lois a point of view character. She needed an introduction. I remember you raving about that segment. You even sent a note saying how much Moose liked it. That's ironic. And that was rare. I don't remember that. So it's a bit odd to hear you say that you hated it. Well, Gail, it threw everything off. It was an okay idea, but you sat on it for too long. And when you sat on it for too long, we lost 8 pages of a 100-page book to something that wasn't that interesting. It was a horror comic. This wasn't part 1 of an ongoing, run on Action Comics that would explore these ideas that you had more. It was just a short story. It was 100 pages long. It was a movie. It wasn't necessary. It had nothing to do with the rest of the story at all. It was just something that you wanted to say. You said it certainly wouldn't have been a big a deal to change it. Well, it was, because you didn't finish the book, Gail. You didn't, Gail. You didn't finish the book. I couldn't get you to change anything. I'd be lucky to get 3 pages out of you at a time. It's oh my God. All right, this thing about you made my career, saved my career. Never said that. Never said that. I've heard you say that about a lot of pros. You've never heard me say that about any pros. I've never said that. Who did I say that about? Oh, saved my career. Maybe Moose Bauman? Moose Bauman isn't even a pro. Yeah, I did save Moose Bauman. I dragged him along like an anvil for years. But that's just a fact, and I think even he'll acknowledge that, as much as he hates me. I have never said that about you, Gail, ever, including some people it clearly doesn't apply to. This is a lie. This is an out and out lie. I am not sure how a low selling series that I quit, a 2-part anthology story, and a graphic novel that never happened did anything even remotely like that, and it's an odd thing to claim. That's because I never claimed it. This whole paragraph is a lie. I have always been offered more work than I can handle since I started in the industry, since long before I met you. And believe it or not, being attached to your name is not always a benefit. I don't believe it. I don't remember any period where I wasn't getting work from DC. I do. Certainly not during the New 52, as they had me on 2 books and wanted me for a third in the super office. Not sure what this is about. And currently, I have absolutely never been busier. And a big chunk of my week is having to politely turn things down. Spend less time turning things down. Just don't answer them. If it's a big chunk of your week, spend less of your week turning things down politely. Do it faster. Maybe be more rude about it, but spend more time on Plastic Man and actually writing your scripts. And DC just offered me a cool project with a superstar artist last week. Good. In fact, this year alone, Gail, I see you working. I look at you bragging about the work that you've been offered. I have been asked to work for DC, Marvel, Image, Titan, Eagle, Boom, Dynamite, Dark Horse, Lionforge, and more. Sometimes on multiple titles, often on whichever book I choose. I have had 2 TV series optioned in the past few months, one of which I will be executive producing. I'm working on 2 film projects that will be announced soon. I was recently hired to guide Lionforge's entire superhero imprint. In every single case, these people all came to me, not the other way around. Good. And you have deliberately misrepresented the exchange where you blocked me. No, I have not. This is going to be interesting. You say I was mad because you voted for Trump. You know that's not true. No, it is true. And I find this one of the creepiest bits. I'm sorry you find it creepy, Gail. I found it extremely creepy while it was happening. All right, let me read your account of this, and then I'll explain where you're lying. What happened was you were crowing about Trump winning. Crowing, I was, which is your right. But what annoyed me was that you had just days previously called Trump a clown, an insane idiot. It'd be a disaster for this country. I could have ignored it, and I probably should have. But I asked about it on Twitter. I said, hey, Ethan, weren't you saying this about Trump a few days ago? I believe you got embarrassed. No, Gail, I didn't get embarrassed. What actually happened was you said I was celebrating Trump's victory quite happily. You quote tweeted me to your 100,000 fans, crazy lunatic far left wing subscribers, and then their subscribers. And you said, didn't you say that you would never vote for Trump because he's a clown and an idiot? And just a few days ago, and I said, no, Gail, that was April. I said, that was April. I wasn't with Trump in April. But if you've been following my Facebook page, you can actually go look at my Twitter and you'll see me actually saying this from back then. I said, if you follow my Facebook page, you'll see that I got on board with Trump. And I have been a Trump supporter who actually got his Trump hat autographed by Trump ever since. So you remember me saying something in April when I was still undecided and I didn't like Trump. I've been a Trump supporter all along here. I believe you got embarrassed. No, I didn't. I didn't get embarrassed, Gail. Gail, you calling me out like that doesn't embarrass me. What it does is say, holy shit, you just quote tweeted me to a bunch of lunatics. Maybe that's not a cool thing for me to do, you say. But it was frustrating to see you constantly say one thing to your friends and the exact opposite to your followers. This is just all batshit insane, Gail. One of the reasons why I had so many problems, leading up to the election was I was consistently saying the same thing to everyone. I was a Trump supporter. I love Trump. I loved the Pepe meme before it became an alt-right thing. I love the whole thing. I love 2016. Also, this is none of your fucking business. Frustrating to you? Gail, I'm sorry that you found it frustrating, my politics. I'm sorry that you found what I was saying to be frustrating to you. Was that a reason to sick your 100,000 Twitter followers on me with quote tweets? Hateful shit. I mean, the stuff that they were sending me, I've never seen anything like that. Now, since I have, you opened up that door for me, which I really appreciate. Really appreciate that. Since I have seen hatred by SJWs, the likes of which I have never experienced before. I didn't know the comic book industry was this hateful. I had no idea. But you made me see that when you quote tweeted me and then made me the target of endless harassment to the point where I had to protect my tweets. And your followers were saying to you on Facebook, ha ha ha, good job, Gail. Ethan is losing. Ethan's in a full-scale Twitter meltdown. He's had to protect his tweets. To you. Your fans were excited about me being harassed for who I voted for. Your fans. You did that to me, your friend. Now, certainly we did have trouble on Firestorm. We did. But just that the year before that, we had a great experience on Wonder Woman. It was a quick in and out situation where we did what was the equivalent of 20 pages of a Wonder Woman story. It was a lot of fun. Felt good to do. We did it successfully without a hitch. And then we just kind of went, okay, that's great. So we did have one successful thing that we did together. So it was quite surprising to me that you did this. It's quite surprising to me that you think that what I'd say on Facebook about Trump is any of your fucking business, that you need to interfere and sick your followers on me to the point where I have to protect my tweets. You think you can embarrass me, Gail, with your bad behavior? You think you saying, I thought you said Trump was an idiot, embarrasses me? You opened me up to targeted harassment, the likes of which I have never seen before. And since you, Gail, you are responsible for opening me up to all of this Ethan is a Nazi bullshit. That was you. You sicked the comic book industry on me. People were quote tweeting your tweet about me. People like Heather Antos. Heather Antos and Mags Visaggio on November 9th. I found a tweet from them. Did you see? Ethan's a Trump supporter. Yeah, fuck Ethan. I didn't even know who these people are. I didn't know who they were back then. They weren't following me. That was all a result of you. Now, whether or not you meant to, Gail, whether or not you actually meant to open your friend up to this kind of harassment and abuse, I'll never know. You could just be incredibly ignorant and careless with the people that you profess to care about. But what I ended up having to do was block you to protect myself. I mean, the arrogance of you. I believe you got embarrassed. Yeah, you really shut me down by saying, I can't believe you voted for Trump. You said he was stupid in April. Yeah, I was very, you brought me shame, Gail. You made me ashamed. As all of your weirdo followers, all of your crazy acolytes, the ones who talk about slitting throats on your behalf, those people all came after me, sending me threatening tweets, saying, die. Oh, God, this is unreal. This woman is unreal. Unreal. Now, when I say to you, my followers, 1,541 people watching now, do not befriend SJWs. This is what they do. And it doesn't matter. All of this doesn't matter. This is like, well, you blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this is great. I appreciated this. I appreciated your being there to talk to me 3 times during my divorce. I did. I needed friends. I needed all my friends. And you were a good friend. Why didn't you say that that's what this was here? It's when this is Gail's passive aggressive way of communicating. She'd rather leave this open to your imagination rather than just say specifically, Ethan was going through a divorce and he was depressed. Look at this. Ethan began having some issues. Think he was suffering from depression. This is just vague enough to let people draw their own imaginative conclusions, and none of them will do me any favors. This is the ugliness of Gail Simone. This is the ugliness, the unfairness, the recklessness of Gail Simone. And this is what she does. This is the way she talks. This idea that I ever had to save your career, no, that's not what I was saying at all. I was saying I got you work. If you didn't appreciate the work that I got you when I believed you needed it, maybe I was wrong. Maybe you didn't need it. Maybe when I got you on Firestorm, maybe when I got you on Day of the Composites, maybe when I got you on Wonder Woman, you were doing me a favor. I had no idea. Thank you. If that's the case, thank you. I appreciate the favors, Gail. Thank you so much. You were way too busy. Still, you took the time to do Firestorm with me. You took the time to do Composites and not finish it. You took the time at long last to return to DC and do Wonder Woman with me for a one shot. Thank you so much. So I've owed you a thank you all along, and here it is. You opened me up to targeted harassment. I never opened you up to targeted harassment. Ever. I've always been protective of you. Up until now, I've always been protective of you in comics. Always. Maybe that's not a cool thing for me to do. No, it wasn't. It was awful. But it was frustrating to see you constantly say one thing. Okay. So it was your job, Gail. This is your grief. This is your problem. It was your job to open me up to incredible amounts of harassment, which would essentially basically lead to me leaving my job at DC Comics. You made everyone crazy. You made people start telling each other that I was a Nazi, and at no time did Gail Simone ever step forward and say, I know Ethan, he's not a Nazi. No, I don't recall that. I don't recall Gail Simone sticking up for me. That's weird. I have a bunch more examples. You know what some of them are. No, I don't. Please share. I'm pretty sure this wasn't when you blocked me at all. It was. It was when I blocked you. I was outraged that you did this. It might have been a day later, but it was shortly thereafter. I blocked you because of that. Feel free to double check that, triple check it. Do your research. Check when I blocked you. I recall saying, oh my God, this person is not my friend. I can't believe this person just did this to me. My inbox is full of people threatening to kill me, telling me they hate me, telling me to die. Why would my friend do that to me? Why would she do that to me? That's weird. So I blocked you, decided you weren't my friend. So this is a long rant. It sucks to lose a friend. It sucks to have you attack me to your 70,000 or whatever viewers. All while claiming victimhood. This is a big deal with SJWs. They victimize you, and then when you say, look, you're victimizing me, they say, stop claiming victimhood. I've said this over and over again. I'm a man. I don't want to be a victim. I don't enjoy being a victim. I fucking hate being a victim. Hate being a victim. Hate it. Don't want to. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel natural for me. But you're asking why I blocked you, and I'm telling you why I blocked you. Because you victimized me while claiming to be my friend. Now, if it were somebody else who did that, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. It wouldn't have been that surprising, but it was you. It sucks to be misrepresented. Thank you. It does. Either intentionally or accidentally. Well, again, anywhere that I'm wrong, I'm happy to correct it. Happy to correct it, as I corrected you then. The idea that, I was sitting there up until this idea that I was like on November 4th or 5th or 6th saying, Trump's a clown. He's an idiot. He'll ruin this country. And then he wins. And then suddenly I'm like, yay, I was for Trump all along. You asshole. Give me a break. Go look at my social media timeline. Why don't you ask Rich Johnson? He obsessed over it. He obsessed over my timeline on Facebook, where all of my political thoughts came out. It was for Trump the whole time. As soon as Trump became our nominee, let me just put it that way. As soon as Trump became our nominee, I went, oh, And then Ann Coulter came out from it. I went, oh, I like Ann Coulter. And I started to pay more attention. And I said, oh, all right, I think this guy's going to do some good stuff. I think at least he's a lot of fun. I never thought he was going to win. I never thought he was going to win. Nobody did. Infuriating. I have no interest in some creepy YouTube. Listen, I don't either. I don't want to talk about you, Gail. That's why I blocked you. I don't talk about you. You know, my YouTube channel is actually set up to be to document my career in comics in a historical way. I mean, if you look at what I did, the first things that I did with my YouTube channel was to do live commentaries on all of my comics, and I saved Firestorm for last because I just didn't even want to get into it. I didn't want to talk about it, and I had to talk about it. I just said I'm just going to go through it all in like 1 or 2 videos, like live. Because I can't, like with everything else, I'd be like, okay, this is Green Lantern Rebirth #1, 30-minute video. This is Green Lantern Rebirth #2, separate 30-minute video. Because I had a lot, those were things that I had a lot to say about, and I couldn't wait to talk about them. With Firestorm, I didn't want to talk about them at all. I'm not anxious to talk about you. It's painful. It's embarrassing. It's weird. It's painful. I don't like it. So this is even more creepy for me. Imagine me reading this. And basically, the whole theme of this. By the way, let me break down this whole essay. Ethan was inexplicably mentally ill. He was mentally ill, and nobody liked him. That's this part. I liked him though, until he basically, DC Comics ruined all of our projects together. DC Comics was just unbearable to work for. They ruined everything that we were doing. I wanted to do what Ethan wanted to do, but DC Comics wouldn't let me. Down here, yeah, basically, I didn't like the way that you were hypocritical about who you voted for, in my perception, which I wasn't paying attention to. I perceived you as a hypocrite, so I decided to unload my psychopath fan base on you. I decided to ruin your life. I believe you got embarrassed over it. It sucks to lose a friend. And I don't want this to be a creepy YouTube feud. I mean, Gail. Yeah, I certainly am not doing attack videos for 70,000 people to rile them up, she says. I barely mentioned you in ages. I know, you kind of talk around me. You kind of passive aggressively mention me without mentioning me. People send me those posts. I appreciate that. That's all I really have to say. I quit watching around the 26-minute mark. If there was more, I think it's probably unlikely I'm missing much. I don't remember, Gail. I don't remember. Good luck on your project, Ethan. Thanks, Gail. And congratulations on your success. Thank you so much. My best to your family, both two-legged and four-legged. This stuff all sucks, but at least we're still doing what we love, which is making comics. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Yeah, good luck to you, Gail. I'm glad that you're turning down work left and right at Lion Forge, Dark Horse, Boom and Dynamite, Titan and Eagle, Image, DC, Marvel. What, no IDW? What's IDW's problem? I don't know. That's it. That's the Gail Simone response to me. It's just typical. It's headache inducing. It's manipulative. It's crass. It's phony. Gail, you caused me a lot of pain. I don't say that because I like to be a victim. I don't like to be a victim. You caused me a lot of pain. I thought you were my friend. You didn't behave like my friend, and you did. I felt like I stepped out of. I felt like maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was delusional about this, about the fact that I thought that I was helping you. Turns out that you were just helping me all along. And again, I'm glad to know that. I will no longer say that I helped get Gail Simone 3 jobs. I did help you get Plastic Man, didn't I? Didn't I? When Dan Didio called me up and said, "Is it okay if we let Gail Simone write Plastic Man? We've been holding it for you." And I said, "Yeah, let her have it." Oh God. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. That's it for Gail. I don't want to mention her ever again. I don't like drama. I don't like making drama videos. At all. I don't like it. Ratstock says, "You're to blame for Plastic Man." No, I'm not. I had nothing to do with it. Gail and her fans are ecstatic to hear that she caused you pain, says Captain Shenanigans. Well, they were ecstatic on November 9th, too. I don't know. They're very excited about it. They loved it. They loved storming my YouTube or my Twitter page. They loved sending me threats. They loved making me sad. They loved getting me to protect my tweets. I didn't know how to deal with it then. I really didn't. I didn't know how to deal. I didn't have thin skin, but I didn't have thick skin yet. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. I'm ready for it now. I mean, it's so dishonest. I mean, these people are so dishonest. The Beat, this website is so dishonest. And I mean, this might be Gail's point of view, but I mean, even if this is Gail's point of view and this is what she honestly believes happened, look at the way she's presenting it. She's presenting it in a way that's reckless and careless, allows people to draw their own conclusions about facts, about basic facts. Her talking about me being depressed for some reason is really fucking weird. It's common knowledge that I'm divorced and got remarried. You can tell people that this all happened because I was going through a divorce. And people will say, "Oh, I can relate to that. I've maybe been through a divorce, or someone I know has." But no, you just said for some reason Ethan was like in a deep, dark hole, and I can't. I mean, that's irresponsible. That's really irresponsible, Gail. I'd stop and laugh at myself because I'm like, I can't let myself be angry over this. Life's too good. Life's too good. I mean, I'm, yeah. Bootsy says Uncle E traded up but still has a good son out of it. There you go. That's correct. I got my Hunter, and I got my Andrea, and I got my Ava, and life is good. Nobody bother Gail Simone. I've got 1,600 people in here. Nobody bother Gail Simone. Obviously, we do have to say that. Nobody said that. Gail never said that to her people. Gail never said, "Don't bother Ethan." In fact, I think that she may, by omission, she encouraged it. All right, let me see here. There's super chats. When I was reading this, I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. What do you think, guys? Was that too emotional? Was it too weird? Uriah Wright goes, "Way to make Ethan into a lunatic, Gail." Yeah, Gail, way to make me into a lunatic. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. You've been worse, says Maxwell Miller. She broke your heart, says Invader 6 Dark Lord. She did. She did break my heart, but she's getting good work out of it. She's very busy. Everyone's giving her work now. Hell says, "I'm finally home after several months. Got my signed Tico. Thanks." Oh, cool. Black Angus reviews. I demand Cecil or Cecil-based rant, kind friend. Okay. Ranos22. If everything around you is odd, strange, crazy, or weird, maybe it's not everything. Maybe, just maybe it's you. Yeah, that's usually true. That's usually true. But not everything around me is crazy, weird, odd, strange, or cuckoo. It's just the comic book industry. The rest of my life is perfectly normal. The rest of the people that I encounter every day are downright wonderful. People outside of comics seem normal to me. My community seems bright and happy. My family seems nice. My friends seem good. The comic book industry seems cuckoo. Maybe, just maybe, it's them. I don't know. Or the rest of the world is crazy and the comic book industry is normal. One of the two, Ranos. I would leave that up to you to make that judgment. And you're invited to. Snowball2, thanks for $4.99. Keep up the good work and stay positive, Uncle Ethan. They hate us because they ain't us. Pie reviews when? And what are your top 3 favorite pies? I can't review any pies because I'm not eating pies. I ate 4 pies in a week. And I like gained 10 pounds. I have to take that weight off. And I can't be eating pies. What are my top 3 favorite pies? In this order. Lemon meringue is number 1. Number 2, apple. Number 3, maybe key lime. I don't know. I will get an apple. Oh, pumpkin. Pumpkin's number 3. Pumpkin is definitely number 3. When Thanksgiving rolls around, I will eat 2 whole pumpkin pies. But no pies until then. GR People, thanks for $2. Hail Caesar, we shall rise above the ashes of Lucas. Risey Toxic Fan Lee. I wonder if SJWs are scrolls and we are living in the secret invasion. Sometimes it feels like that, doesn't it? Well hung in dung, angry Uncle Evan. I met a woman last night who wants me to punish her strange shame cave with my bulbous god stick. Should I do it? Yes, but use protection unless you would like a child. I encourage you to do that. I think that's healthy. I think it's good. And the fact that she wants it is encouraging. It speaks well of you. Midnight Cherry TV, $2. What do you think Gail's favorite kind of pie is? I don't know. I've never seen Gail eat. The one time, well, yeah, I have. When we were in Australia, she was on a diet. She was eating tuna fish out of a can with crackers, I think. I think she was on some kind of special diet. But I don't know what her favorite kind of pie is. Mark C, thank you for $5. Does this mean that Gail Simone is to blame for Comicsgate's current success? Yeah, in no small part. Gail Simone represents, I don't know, part of what's going on in comics that people are turning away from, but also, me turning away from the mainstream. I think that, I guess in some way that has to do with Gail. And I have a lot to do with Comicsgate's current success, don't I? If I could be, if I could just remove myself from my usual humility. I mean, I actually do. I do a lot of good stuff for Comicsgate. So, yeah. Midnight TV, thanks for $5. She did not betray you. You may not get it, but you were never friends. Sorry, Uncle E. Good people have a hard time understanding evil people. Yeah. You know what? It's not evil people. I don't think Gail's evil. I think what it is that when you are a conservative who is friends with a liberal or a far leftist, especially a far leftist, liberals to a lesser extent, but being friends with a liberal means that you're going to, the more interaction you have with them, the more you're going to rub them the wrong way. And they can deal with it for short periods of time. But believe me, while they're looking at you, it never leaves their brain that you voted for Donald Trump or George Bush or against Obama. That's always on their mind, and it's at the forefront of their mind. And they're trying to talk to you past that fact. They're fully aware that you are a conservative. They're fully aware that you, disagree with them, and they're trying to pretend like that doesn't matter when they're dealing with you. But eventually, they will snap, and it will matter. It'll matter. Some people, I don't know. Some people it takes longer. But I remember like talking to John Layman early on, like before, and I remember just John Layman 10 years ago. uh, during the Bush administration. I remember just walking past him being like, "Hey, John, what's up?" Like we had dinner together, a DC dinner, and we talked about the stuff that we have in common. We had a great talk about maybe working together on some Batman, Plastic Man possible thing, and we both had kind of the same ideas, and it was great. And then it was like a month later, the next convention that we did together, uh, I just see him looking at me, and he's just like shaking his head. He's like, how can you support Bush when this, and this? And I was like, oh, good morning, John. You know, it's like that's on your mind. Like we're at a comic book convention right now. We're surrounded by comic books, and you're looking at me and you're thinking about George W. Bush. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? And he got worse and worse and worse from there. Uh, uh, yeah. Above average gamer says, tell that fat auntie to focus on doing people hair. You're talking about Gail. No, she should write comics. And I wouldn't call her fat auntie. I would never remark on Gail's appearance. I think that's a low blow and it's inappropriate, guys. You can rise above that. Gojirify, thanks for $5. Sorry, she has no self-awareness and is a narcissist, dishonest and petty and passive aggressive. Didn't mention divorce because it dulls her narrative. Yeah, you know, that's when like she had to set it up like Ethan's crazy. Ethan's crazy and nobody likes him. Now, let me tell you why you know what I mean? It's just like it's weird. Like the more you look at that essay, you just go, this is really like manipulative. This is dishonest and manipulative. It's exactly, but I mean, normal people would read that and not catch that the first time. I mean, they would just sit there and go, oh, this was very classy of her. What a classy response. It's not classy. It's self-serving, it's manipulative, and it's dishonest. Darth Bobcat says, I wouldn't even harass Gail. It's a little tribute to Sargon of Akkad, I think. Z Ryan just tuned in. Gail made you $2, whatever this is. Well, thanks, Z Ryan. Appreciate that. Den Jagonski, tell Gail that Comicsgate thinks Secret 6 was dope. Secret 6 was pretty dope. I think she gave me a copy of the trade paperback, and I read it, and I thought it was great. Donut Swan, $2. Pants down, waiting for Cecil. Hail Cecil. Nerzen Jaeger. Thanks for €2. Bridgman, Loomis, or Hogarth? Hogarth. Ranos 22. That was directed at Gail. Sorry, LOL. Wait, what was? Go back and find that tweet. If everything around you is odd, strange, weird. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, she says that a lot. She's like, it's really creepy and odd. It was just all very odd. Now, I ask you, was anything that I said, did anything that I say to you sound odd? I mean, put your prejudice aside. Did anything I say to you sound like that's probably not what happened? Like you can tell when somebody's lying with the story that they're telling because you're kind of like, I don't think human beings really behave that way. Like that doesn't seem like that's not like how people behave. And like normally people do have a motivation. There's a reason why people are doing what they're doing, et cetera, et cetera. You know, that's how you can tell if someone's like, for some reason, this dude just walked up and punched me in the face. And you're like, well, that's weird. What were you doing? I don't know. He was just crazy. Okay. Well, that's somebody who's not telling the truth. There's got to be a reason why. There's a reason why something preceded it, you know, et cetera, et cetera. DJ Ray, thanks for $10. Cheer up, Uncle Ethan. It's time to pull out the trebuchet and put Gail in it. I'm sure that will put a smile on your face. Stay strong and stay away from the pies. No, I don't want to put Gail in a trebuchet. I just want her to leave me alone. I want her to be over there. Like when I blocked her because I just didn't want any more Gail in my life. Talking about Gail for my YouTube, you know, everyone asks me what happened with Gail. It's like the number one question I get asked. What happened with Gail? Talk about Gail. I give you an honest accounting of what happened with Gail, and I get to give a second accounting of what happened to Gail because Gail writes this essay. But I just don't want anything to do with her. I just don't trust her anymore. Like, you know, there was a trust issue that was kind of broken when she did that. And even still, I wish her well. You know. Custom song maker. Thanks for $5. Gail's least favorite pie is composite. She never finishes it. That's very clever. Liam says, I may have caused this by telling Gail on Twitter that her fame comes from standing in the shadow of titans like you. Sorry. Oh, well, Gail, do you hear that? Liam said that. I never said that. I never said that about you. And I never would. I think your success is entirely self-made. Has nothing to do with me. All I did was try to get you a few jobs when I thought you needed them, but I could have been wrong. And you're telling me I was wrong, that you didn't need the jobs and you were doing me a favor by accepting them and you didn't want to do them. And that's news to me. And if that's true, that's totally cool. I believe you. I believe you. I shouldn't have offered you those projects because they didn't come out well. All water under the bridge, says Stephen 4X. Now cheers the F up and get back to things that make you happy. Hint, hint, frog. Right, of course. Tyler, by the way, did you see the page I posted today? The page from Cyberfrog Blood Honey. It's like his origin. Like he's just formed for the first time, and yeah, he's wide-eyed and innocent for now. Tyler Preston says the feminists in Canada are mad about a murder mystery party is being held on Halloween, claiming that it's misogynistic for moronic reasons. Okay, there's a murder mystery party that's being held on Halloween, and it's misogynistic. I'm missing a piece of information, Tyler. Peephole Circus, let them gossip, Uncle E. We're always here, and then 3 rainbows. Oh my God. I saw a rainbow Elvis. I got to show you this. I actually got to show you this. I'm not sharing right now. Okay, that's fine. I'll share in a minute. I saw this and I went, now I don't have a lot of money to spend on silliness, but you guys know that I'm an Elvis fan. You know that I'm a great big Elvis fan. And let's see, highest. Pardon me. Oh my God, there's so much good stuff here. Oh my God. $44,000 for that. I'm screen sharing right now. Some of you are going to be bored by this, but maybe you won't be. Maybe you'll be enthusiastic because you guys like collectibles too. Screen share. Boom. All right, can you guys see? Look at this. This isn't all right, this isn't what I was talking about, but you got to be kidding me. Look at all this Elvis stuff. Elvis Presley memorabilia, a lot of many items, good for opening an Elvis museum. Look at all those Elvis jumpsuits and Elvis stuff. It's just $44,000 for this. How would you ship this to my home? That's not a real Elvis guitar. Are these his real jumpsuits or are these fake? 100 items. Avid collector of Elvis memorabilia. He's in Vegas. It could be real. Oh, are you kidding me? Like a whole rack of Elvis clothes? Man, that's tempting. But that's not even, I mean, that blows away what I was looking at, honestly. That blows away what I was looking at. Let me show you what I was looking at. Because we're talking about rainbows. Oops. Why is it? Oh, can you imagine if I was wearing this necklace? TCB, taking care of business. Imagine your life being that good that you could wear Elvis Presley's jewelry and just wear it around. Imagine life being that good. It could be that good. You could make your life that good that you could wear Elvis's jewelry. All right, this shirt is nice. I like this shirt. This shirt is also nice. This jacket, this velvet sport coat is also very nice. I would buy any of those. But the king of all Elvis worn items. Come on now. Evidently, it's not as expensive because of. Oh no, I don't want that scarf. Bear with me, guys. I know you. When you see this, you'll be glad that I showed you. When you see this, here it is. Elvis Presley, 1970s fringe rainbow jacket. Okay? Now, can you picture me in this jacket? Can you picture me in this jacket? Of course you can. Let's have a look at it. Look at this. Yes. It has fringe. Look at this. Let me see a picture of him with other human beings wearing this jacket. That's him wearing my jacket. It's only $2,600. How is it gay? Why would you say it was gay? It's not gay. I mean, my God. Look at that. All right. Look at that. I would wear that to every Comic-Con. I would wear it to New York City Comic-Con. Somebody's just like, wear it to NYCC. I would. I would wear this to NYCC with big Elvis sunglasses like this. I absolutely would. That would be, you would have to do that. Oh, look at that. It is seriously the most glorious thing I've ever seen in my life. It's not 3XL. Well, yeah, I'm looking at it. It's only $2,600. Are you kidding me? Like, I'll bet like this cost $2,600 new. Tat24 says it's gay. It's not gay. Elvis wore it. Elvis isn't gay. Need the sunglasses. People are saying, yeah, do it. You just called it your jacket. Yeah. I already feel like it belongs to me. Tricon saying it's fake, most likely. How could you say it's fake when here he is wearing it? And that doesn't look like a composite photo. That looks like that. Does that look like well, you know, where did they get it? Back in the 70s, North Beach Leather on Sunset Strip made me a custom jacket. I was the lead singer. Oh, Elvis saw my jacket and liked it so much he had one made for himself too. The two are identical. This is the real deal. Other than this isn't his jacket. He didn't wear this. He didn't wear this. He just had one made for himself like this. So he didn't even wear this. Kraken of the Sea says Sargon's suit looked better than that. That's tough. And you don't mean that. You don't mean that. I mean, you know, there's cruelty and there's cruelty. Yeah, I'm not going to do it now because Elvis never wore it. No, it's fake. Elvis never wore it. Elvis has one, but this is the one that Elvis saw that Elvis liked. And I'm not buying it. Screw that guy. Yeah. All right, let me read some of these super chats. Gojirify says, is she familiar with the phrase lie in one area, lie in others? She admitted the truth in one, divorce, so I think she admits the truth in other areas. Yeah, you know, she'll do that. She'll say, you know, there's this one guy in Comicsgate that he's really high up in Comicsgate, and one time he said a bunch of racist things to me. And then she'll just leave it like that. She'll like, I don't want to name any names. So the effect of that is to have everyone who reads what she just posted fill in the name of whoever they want it to be. And of course, they think me. Because who else would they think? You mean Ethan said a bunch of racist stuff to you once? Well, I'm not naming any names. You know. Yeah, people are saying it's a scam. Yeah. All right. Well, that's why it's so cheap. Crafting says none of that Elvis is real, Uncle E. Really? Well, you know, if it was real, it would be on a museum. It would be in a museum in Graceland. If it was real. The original looks better. Elvis's looks bad. Well, it is the coolest Ethan no squee buying. It is the coolest looking jacket I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. I mean, it really is cool. Ew, somebody has an Ed Gein ashtray? That's disgusting. Or best offer though. Yeah, 2,600 or best offer. My best offer is $200, and it would belong in a museum. Cormoran says Elvis is just a myth based on the ideal male. Yeah, I know. Joe M says ask Andrea. Well, I could have Andrea come down here and look at the jacket and see what she says for your guys' amusement, but I don't know. She's watching Ava upstairs. KK isn't going anywhere. I thought she was out, Uncle, says Danny Hernandez. Yeah, I already suffered through this whole thing. I did a whole sad stream yesterday about this topic. It's up there, and it's you know, go have a look at it. Go watch it. We have theories about why she's staying, but who knows anymore? Doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes any sense. Lucasfilm doesn't make any sense. Maybe she's doing a great job, and I don't recognize it. Maybe Kathleen Kennedy is doing a great job, and I do not recognize it, and nobody else does either. What do I know? Red Syrup says Spielberg saved her job. Well, that's one theory. There are a bunch of theories. Dave Filoni or no dice, says Angelus0000. I agree. Danny Hernandez says, love you, Uncle. Love you too, Danny. Thank you. Yeah, Disney wants it this way. All right, let me see what else is going on here. Above average gamer says, why can't Gail rise above her hate for you? I don't know. I wish she would. I wish she would ascend above it and stop saying things are weird and odd, and that she had to step in. Gail had to step in because she was really uncomfortable with her faulty perception of me saying one thing here and another thing there. And by the way, so what? Sometimes some things are appropriate to say in some places and inappropriate to say in other places. I can't say things that I say here to my bishop when I go to church every week. Every week I'm in church, and I can't talk about pancake nipples and things like. I can't talk like that. I have to adopt a different attitude, a different tone when I'm in church. It's just not a good argument. I don't know. Most of the time I'm pretty consistent, or at least I try to be. And when people point out my hypocrisy, I go, yeah, well, the thing is, being a hypocrite is only the worst crime in the world to SJWs. SJWs think hypocrisy is the worst thing in the world. Hypocrisy is the state of man. Nobody is 100% consistent about everything. It's very easy to drive SJWs nuts by pointing out their hypocrisy. They don't know what to do about that. It's the only crime that they can't reconcile, that they could, that they could commit themselves. We don't think hypocrisy is that big of a deal. We think being a dickhead is a big deal. We think being a hateful, crazy lunatic is a big deal. But you can be a hypocrite. Most people are. That's why the Christian church exists. That's why Christianity exists, because man is a hypocrite. Lord Arnold, thanks for $2. My 11-year-old daughter, Bree, supports you and loves your art. Thank you so much. Tell Bree I said hello. I have an 11-year-old stepdaughter named Kaylee. Maybe they could hang out. SJW Ghostbusters sucked too, says Invader 6 Dark Lord. Yeah, it did. Well, I don't know if it did. I didn't see it. See, there's my hypocrisy. I just immediately said it sucked. I didn't see it. That's hypocritical of me. When am I going to watch Ghostbusters 2016 so that I can make a sound judgment about how bad it sucks? Yeah. That's why the stuff with Renfamous is so funny. It's like the stuff that with Renfamous being a hypocrite is hilarious because they don't know what to do with that. They really don't. I changed. No, you're a hypocrite. Oh my God. Like you could say anything about Renfamous and she would say you're a hateful, bigoted weirdo. And like that wouldn't mean anything to her. But if you could actually concretely prove hypocrisy, that will blow her head off. She won't know what to do with that. And that is what she's struggling with right now. Said you're calling Down syndrome kids. You're using the word retard to call kids with Down syndrome names that I don't understand. Well, Ethan, you've used the word retard before. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not you. It's like, well, you're a hypocrite. Well, okay. It's not the end of the world. That's not what I profess to be. But yeah, you can say that stuff to them and they get very, very upset and confused. Uh, Tiberius Caligula Nero says Tard Man. I don't know why. Holy Goat says Renfremus knows how damaging those posts are to her. Apparently she does. Uh, yeah, right. Do as I say, not as I do, says Unicorn Kaz. Well, again, I mean, the way SJWs work is SJWs judge you by the worst thing you've ever done in your life. So the worst thing you've ever done in your life is the sum total of who you are. And in the meantime, SJWs judge themselves by what someday they might become. That's how they judge themselves. So they never judge you. You know, when you actually say this is the worst thing you've ever done, and this is how you should judge yourself, because that's how you judge other people. They don't know what to do with that either. They'll judge you by, the one shameful thing that you've done, and that sums up who you are. That is how SJWs are every single time. Yeah. All right, let me read more of these. Kleindropper, thanks for $5. Let Uncle E and Kavanaugh be a lesson to all the kids out there. Never trust or have a relationship with an extreme leftist, especially a leftist woman. Well, that's good advice. Yeah. All right, if you had a choice between being an incel or having a relationship with an extreme leftist woman, what would you do? Would you be an incel? No, it's impossible. You wouldn't be an incel because you would be a voluntary celibate at that point, wouldn't you? What would you do? Margaret Miracle says, I like turtles. That's good information. Winston Smith says he would turn to hookers. Most people are saying incel. Yeah, incel. It would be the same, says Joe Cool. Be a hermit. There's nothing so wrong with being a hermit. It's all good. How hot is she? She's pretty hot. She's pretty hot. I'll get. I'm not gonna. Why would I say that she wouldn't be hot? Then it wouldn't be a choice. She's hot. Um. Yeah. Let's see. Custom Songmaker says, years ago, Gail stopped by my local comic shop and offered to sign books. Owner, quote, we don't have much by you because nobody likes it. She laughed and thought he was kidding. He wasn't. This is 100% true. He has pics with her. That's not nice. I see, this is the thing. I don't want to make people feel bad. There aren't people that I want to make feel bad. I don't want people to be tortured or suffer. I say that because I don't want myself to be tortured or suffer. Unless they're pedophiles. If they're pedophiles, they can be tortured and they can suffer. But other than that, just an SJW, I don't want to torture SJWs. I just want them to go away. I want them to leave me alone so I can do my frog book and build up Comicsgate to make it into the powerful movement that it's becoming. A lot of people are saying to me now, they're saying weird things to me. Here's my story arc. My story arc, my character arc, has been SJWs telling me that I'm finished, overdone, that my career is over, that my life is hell, and I ruined my life. And then slowly, it's starting to become, you're abusing your power, Ethan. Now suddenly, it's become, I am extremely important and powerful, and the leader of a powerful movement, and I'm abusing my power. I didn't know that. I thought my career was over. Oh, and congratulations on your success. It's very weird. Dun, 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 dun. Ian Howe, thanks for $4.99. Hope this gets you $5 closer to that Elvis jacket. Well, I'm not going to buy it, Ian, because it's not real. I would buy a real Elvis jacket. What I would like to do is I'd like to buy a real jewel-studded, and I saw it before, and I missed a chance to buy it. It was $20,000. Jewel encrusted Elvis ring. Okay, so it was his ring, and it had like red and like white diamonds on it, and it said Elvis, and It's like a perfect ring because the E, V, and S were red, and the L and the I in the word Elvis were white diamonds, and they were smaller than the other letters. So I would buy the ring and I would just pluck out the white diamonds, and I'd have a red diamond EVS ring that Elvis used to wear. Oh, my God, I can't think of anything cooler than that. Margaret Miracle says, "How did they get Elvis's stuff?" A lot of it went on auction. GK version 1.0 says he was a hero to most. He was, and also Margaret. Elvis gave away a lot of his stuff. Like if you did a favor for Elvis, he would just give you something. And those people have these, these objects like his housekeepers and stuff. They would like, hey, Elvis gave me his sunglasses. Oh, well, you know, let me have them. Yeah, he gave a lot of stuff away. They stole it off his body. I don't think they stole anything off his body. Yeah, you can't spell Elvis without EVS. Yeah, that's right. I did stand in front of the big, like, red Elvis sign that was behind him in the 68 comeback special. Took a picture of myself, like, in front of it, like, oh, like, with my arms spread out, like, wide. And then I went home and I digitally altered the photo. So I blacked out the L and the I. And it's just me in front of a gigantic flashing red EVS. Damn. John Whalen says, "You're going back to your mom jeans look, uncle?" No, no, no. I can't believe that my jeans look like that. It's weird. They did. They were mom jeans, and that was like 1991 or 92. Why did my jeans look like that in 92? Why did they look like that? Gojirify, $5. If someone said, "Hey, is EVS okay?" A normal friend would say, "Yeah, he's going through a tough divorce." Oh, okay. Not, he's got stuff going on. Yeah, that is abnormal, isn't it, Gojirify? He's got stuff going on. A normal person would say he's going through a tough divorce. Ethan, he's been married for 15 years. He's going through a divorce. He's not handling it very well. He's very sad. He's a little grumpy, and in a bad mood, in a dark place. Oh, well, okay, that makes sense. No, he's got a lot of stuff going on. I think he's like depressed, but I don't know how depressed he is. He's just, yeah, he kind of a lot of alienated some people. It's just, Gail, why do you do that? Like, why do you understand how unfair that is to people? Do you understand how, like, unethical, immoral, unfair that is to people when you talk like that? It's just unfair, and I see you do it all the time. Are you doing that on purpose? Do you mean to do that? Piece of Power Slave, thanks for $5. Excited for Cyberfrog. There is a rumor that the drama between you and Vox is merely a viral marketing campaign. Can you address this? Uh, uh, that would be interesting. There is no drama between me and Vox Day. I think Vox Day is hoping that there is. I feel like here's what I think happened. I think Vox Day was hoping that he would build this all up into something, and I think I slammed it all down pretty quick. Vox was like, Ethan's a pussy. He's not going to sue me. He's not going to get lawyers involved until I did, which was immediately. And then suddenly he stopped talking. He's like, suddenly, Comicsgate isn't that important to us. We don't want to. Ethan isn't going to debate me until I said, yeah, I'm going to debate you. I'm not going to debate you. I can't. My lawyer says don't. I don't have drama between Vox Day. Vox Day is somebody who used to call me up. And the thing about it is that when Vox Day was on the phone with me, I liked talking to him. I didn't, I listened to the audiobooks of his two SJW books. SJWs always lie, SJWs always double down. Those are very valuable books. They get a little braggadocious, like in the middle, talking about Vox Day and the sad puppies. I still don't understand what that was. I don't know why it's relevant. But when he actually talks about how SJWs behave and then how you need to deal with them, that's invaluable advice. That's great information, and he's right. He's dead on right. So I like talking to Vox, and when I had him on my show, I don't know when, August, July, I had Vox Day on, and I just wanted to talk to him about his books. He wanted me to play games. He actually said, "Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to like point at your calendar and be like, hey, last year you said that you were going to be bigger than me in the course of a year, and it's been 6 months, and you ain't bigger than me yet." And we didn't do that. Like I got him on my show, and I said I treated him seriously. I wasn't playing games with him. I wasn't going along with his narrative. I just wanted to talk to him about his books while he was on the air. Let's talk about things that people actually care about. Your two books. Um, you know, I like I said, I like talking to Vox Day on the phone. Sometimes, uh, you know, other times I didn't really care. I just there I'm not terribly interested. I feel like he's somebody who tried to take advantage of me, and it didn't work out too well. John Wayland, you're going back to your mom's jeans look. Okay, I read that one. Only Caleb, $2. Do you believe in God? Yes. Yeah, definitely now. I wasn't so sure about it. I wasn't so sure about it. I go back and forth with it because like I was raised Mormon. I fell away from the church when I was a late teenager. But then around around when I turned 24, I felt it again. Missionaries started coming to my house, and I started going back to church. And I got married to a Mormon girl who turned out to be Hunter's mom. And then, you know, I don't know, about a few years into the marriage, we went to the temple, and I realized I didn't believe it. It was a stark realization. It was depressing. I realized I didn't believe it, and I thought I did, but I didn't, and I just stopped going. And still respect the Mormon Church. Still like those people. If you ask me what I am, I'll say yeah, I'm Mormon, but I'm not. I do believe in God, and the reason why I believe in God is because there's you can feel it happening. Crotchety Gamer says married twice before. No, just once. Hunter's mom was Mormon. Was Mormon. I don't think she's Mormon anymore either. Uh, Married twice. So yeah, total. Hunter's mom and then Andrea. Taconetic says Vox dropped your name on Alex Jones the other day. What did he say? I don't want to really be. What did Vox Day say about me on Alex Jones, please? Um, Dum 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 dum. Yeah, no, but I do believe in God because I feel it. It's like I feel God working in my life. I go through torturous things, terrible things that I have to endure and survive, and I come out on the other side better, and then I'm rewarded for it. It's just a consistent pattern in my life. I always win. It's like I feel God like on my shoulder. Not like he's not heavy on my shoulder. God's very light. He's very lightweight. If God were sitting on your shoulder, like you wouldn't be like, get off my shoulder. Like you wouldn't even feel him. He would just be there. Yeah. One time I had a dream about footsteps in the sand. Like, looking over my life as a pair of footsteps in the sand. And then, during the worst times of my life, there was only one set of footprints in the sand, but they were huge. And I realized that I was dreaming about Bigfoot in the sand. And during the worst parts of my life, Bigfoot carried me. What? Why is that? Ew. Um, Pie feet. Yeah. All right. So I did miss it. What did Vox say? Did anyone answer me? Vox said, I'm scrolling back. It was okay. He said you're making good money. Oh, that's it. Okay, that's fine. I just want to see if he was trying to stir up drama. I hope the drama, such as it was, is dead. I have no interest in dealing with Vox Day in any way. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to talk about anyone. Everyone's nuts. And why is it? It's not just me. Sometimes they say, well, maybe if everyone around you is nuts, then maybe it's you. Well, I showed you Gail Simone. There's Vox Day. There's Moose Bauman. There's Richard Pace. These people are all crazy. Like it's not just me. It can't be just me. These people are not sane, and I'm crazy. I'm surrounded by like just hateful people. I feel like. Ragmuffin says he gave you a gigantic plug. It was hat in hand. It was hat in hand. I don't know. All right. Scrolling up. Scrolling up. I'm scrolling down again. Yeah. It's definitely them, EVS. Yeah, Captain Cummings too. What did I do to him? Denny Hernandez, hateful people, but your fans love you, Uncle. I love you guys too. Thank you. 1,453 people watching now. Yeah, talk about Grant Morrison and Jeff Johns. Sounds less depressing. Grant Morrison, great guy. Absolutely terrific, aces, wonderful human being. Jeff Johns, captain of the football team. Couldn't be a better guy. I hope he's doing well with his new production company. I absolutely love Jeff Johns. He's a man. He's not a weirdo. He's just a regular guy. Yeah. Avi Fagan says, y'all still going? I just got out of the dentist. Oh, man. Jamie Burt says, Grant Morrison is so fucking good. He is. He was, I mean, I was too young to work with him. I was too inexperienced. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time working with Grant Morrison. Darth Bobcat says, so your ex-wife isn't any Mormon? I'll go now. Isn't any Mormon anymore? So your ex-wife isn't any Mormon. I don't get the joke. Any Mormon. Damn it. I hate when I'm stupid and I don't get someone's joke. I have to repeat it in my head over and over again. Sorry. Real Steel says, EVS, are you a secret flat earther? No, but I'm willing to be convinced. It was great. We had a NASA scientist on the other day, and I said, make your best argument for a flat earth. Like, you're a scientist, but give me the best argument that you can come up with for why the earth is flat. And he said, because you only ever see one side of it. And I was like, damn, even that's a smart answer. That's a very smart answer for my stupid question. Piece of Power Slave says, cool, thanks for clearing that up. Vox spoke well of you. Well, maybe he's sorry, and maybe, I don't know. I don't want to have enemies out there. I don't want to. That's the thing. And Vox kind of became an enemy a few weeks ago. I don't want enemies. I want Vox to do okay. I don't agree with him. I think he's got some views that I disagree with, obviously. But I still want everyone to do well, and I don't want to have enemies. I'd rather have friends with people I'd rather be friends with people that I disagree with. Darth Bobcat says, oh, good. I was worried that nobody got it. All right, what did I miss? Any more, man. Oh, got it. Okay. All right. All right. I'm stupid. I was looking at it as one word. I was going, any Mormon. And I was like, what is that? Yeah, I'm not a flat earther or a conspiracy theorist at all. In fact, my attitude about conspiracy theories is always usually, whatever, and this is so square, but it's like usually whatever the authorities tell us is the truth. Like when it comes to 9/11, yeah, it's whatever they told us. The 9/11 Commission report, correct. Warren Commission report, correct. For the most part, they got one thing wrong. We did go to the moon. I believe in all that stuff. Oh yeah, people are saying it. No. Uncle Mom Jeans pick on the last page of Cyberfolk says John Whalen. No. Kirby Carpenter says all jeans in 92 were weird. I guess. I don't remember. The only things I remember Z Cavariccis, and they don't really exist anymore. Z Cavariccis, all the girls were wearing them. They were stonewashed. They were like acid wash jeans. And they came up really high on the hips, like in a triangle shape in the front. Z Cavariccis. They were very expensive. Here in New Jersey, all the girls wore them. And yeah, I was like, wow, she's wearing Z Cavariccis. They look good. They disappeared. No more Z Cavariccis. Harry Bergeron, doesn't Joe Q and Gail's congratulations on your success basically legitimize it and tell truth to the lie that Comicsgate is a hate group? No, I think they still think Comicsgate is a hate group, which is I don't understand what do you mean it's a hate group? Do we all get together and like hate? Like a hate group to me would be somebody like it would be us if we got together and like I was like, okay, everyone, now we're gonna hate on we're gonna hate on the Muslims that are in comics. By the way, I pronounce it Muslims now, which is better. Like I used to say Muslims, but no, they pronounce it Muslims. That's the way they want to be. So it's Muslims. I would say now it's time to hate on the Muslims, and then we'd all get together and hate on the Muslims. That's just not what we do here. We just talk about well, I mean, we talk about the faltering state of the comic book industry. I don't know if that's hateful though. It's just more kind of like a matter of fact and sad. Dudester says, if not Kathleen Kennedy for 3 more years, then who? I don't know. Any number of people. Why not Jon Favreau? You know? Liam says, Moorman with the power of infinite kindness. Peephole, Something Real ends tonight. Looks like a cool book. Everyone go check out Something Real on Indiegogo, I assume. Wellesley1 says, you believe we went to the moon? Hashtag unsubscribe. Yeah, I do. I do believe we went to the moon, even though it is weird that we've never been back. It is really weird that we've never been back to the moon. You know, by the way, the instrumentation that they had, you know, to get to the moon was like they what is that thing that they say? They're like it's the same amount of technology that's in a pocket calculator today. Like that's what was going on inside their spacecraft. That's worrisome. A lot of people are saying we've never been to the moon. It's bull. Kubrick says conspiracy in comics. Oh, stop it. We did go to the moon. Of course we did. You don't think so? And it's made of cheese. Well, you know, listen, I'm willing to be convinced for fun. I do think conspiracy theories are fun, and I will watch conspiracy theory movies, you know, documentaries about them for the most part. I will. Anthony Scott, thanks for the faith talk, as I'm also an inactive Mormon. In the South, it was Jordache jeans the girls wore. Yeah, that was in the 80s. Jordache jeans were in the mid 80s. Z Cavariccis were kind of like 89 to 92. I think maybe 88 to 92. They didn't last long. There was also a great clothing store called Structure in the 90s. It was in every mall, and I loved Structure. I loved it. It had great clothes. It's kind of expensive. I think it was a spinoff of Gap. Was it a spinoff of the Gap? But yeah, I really liked Structure, and it's gone now. Pisses me off. Did you see the book written about you, Cyberfrog, with a PSY? Says John Doe. Yeah, I saw of it. I didn't buy it. I didn't read it. You know, that was Vox Day screwing with me. Like Vox Day was hoping this was going to be a thing. And I have no interest in anything being a thing. I'm too busy. I don't want to play games. I just don't want to play games. Bootsy says EVS is gay confirmed. Structure. Yeah, Structure was cool. You didn't like that store? Yeah. I bought a nice leather jacket. It was $500. I wore that thing all through the 90s. Big Steve says, if you were bored, would you care to talk about how black people were treated in the church back when you were a kid and the common beliefs? Well, I didn't notice because I think when I was a kid, well, you know, before in the Mormon church, black people couldn't hold the priesthood, which is something that all men can do. Okay, like when you're 14 or 12 or something like that, you get to hold the priesthood, which means you can bless sacrament, you can do all these things. You get more and more like gifts, as it were. The older you get, and the longer you stay in the church. So that's something all men get, but for some reason, black people couldn't do it until like 1977. So I grew up in Provo, Utah. Well, I spent the first 5 years of my life from 1974 to 1980 in Provo, Utah. I, you know, I was 1 through 3 in Provo, Utah, where there were no black people. Um, so I never saw that. I never experienced the church being cruel to black people. But I will tell you this: if you want to get a Mormon kind of stuttering, bring that up. Talk to them about why black people couldn't hold the priesthood until 1977. They're extremely uncomfortable about it. Extremely uncomfortable. Yeah, they had the mark of Cain or something like that. My dad tried to explain it to me once. I was like, Dad, just stop. Donut Swan says you can buy old structure stuff at Sears for like $10. They were replaced by Express, Gearbot jeans, and bum equipment for life. Hmm. I don't know. I liked it. You know. Conspiracy and Comics says, will a beautiful Mormon woman ever marry a Jewish, like a Jewish? You're a Jewish. I hope you mean a Jewish guy like me. Yeah. Why not? Do you think Catholic priests should be allowed to marry? Yes. Yeah, I do. Um, I have opinions on that, but I won't share them. It's too controversial. Jabot, that's how it's pronounced. Gearboud. Um, yeah, Gearbod. Might have been how I pronounced it. Judas Lee said no, they should not be allowed to marry. I don't. Well, listen, I don't know. I don't care. I'm not a Catholic. I just think that the problem is the pedophile problem in the Catholic Church. This isn't that controversial. Uh, is exacerbated by the fact that the Catholic Church is the perfect place for pedophiles to hide. Oh, look, you're incapable of having a sexual relationship with an adult woman. So now you can write that off as a vow of celibacy, and then you can just kind of tinker around in the priesthood where you have access to all kinds of children, and yet you get respect. I mean, it's the perfect scenario for a pedophile. It's perfect. So of course, it's not that Catholics are pedophiles. It's just that is a great place for them to go. How cool would it be to be like, hey, I am one of the worst people on the face of the earth, but I get to go to this church and be a leader of the Catholic Church, and everybody respects me and you know invites me over and treats me really nice. In the meantime, I'm molesting all the boys in the church. I mean, that's you know I don't blame the Catholic people. I don't blame the Catholic people at all. EVS, you know an artist by the name of Phil Hester? Yes, I know of him. I know of him. I got to go to sleep. I realize I've been going live for a long time. I read chats and I just keep going. I could talk all day long. Um, Ian Howe says I had like 20 of those striped 6-button structure polos. Yeah, Jets Bauer, $2. SGWs are infected by the liberal pathogen. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed because I got to get up and I got to go on the Kill Stream tonight. There's a charity event and it should be fun. I don't know what time I'm supposed to go on. Let me just check real quick because it changed. They wanted me to come on at 8, then it changed to 6, and I said I couldn't do 6. And then he came back with a new time. Let me see, Ethan Ralph. 7:30, too early, too early. I'm gonna sleep until like 10. Too early. 10? I'll just put question mark. All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for listening to me talk about this. Not a pleasant topic, not something I wanted to discuss. I just can I just have people leave me alone from now on. Like, I think Gail has said what she wants to say. I responded, corrected it. I don't want to fight with people. I don't want to fight with people. I know it seems like maybe that's what Comicsgate is supposed to be, everyone fighting. That's not how I see Comicsgate. I really do see Comicsgate as, a rather ethical endeavor for people who have difficulty getting work in the left wing dominated comic book industry to strike out on their own and find success among a customer base that isn't being served by the mainstream comic book industry. That's what Comicsgate is. This idea that it's about harassing minorities and people of color is outrageous. It's outrageous. It's so stupid. I can't stand it. I look at it and I go, that's like, honestly, it's just alien. It's foreign to me. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not what we want to do. We just want to make our own comics and sell them to ourselves, sell them to each other. That's it. No reason for everybody to be alarmed. If you were alarmed, it was a false alarm. Let's move on. Liam says, sorry again for slamming Gail. She is just mean. I don't know what she is. It doesn't seem like it. When you read that, you'll watch people respond to that article and go, oh, Gail, you're so nice. You're so sweet and kind. That was not kind. That was not kind. That was a hit job, and it was done in such a way to make herself look innocent. And it's a shame. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go. Bless you all. Love you. Have a great Saturday. Get out there and do something fun. I'm going to bed. I'm gonna have. I swear to God, I'm gonna be unconscious. I'm gonna be dead to the world in about 5 minutes. All right, love you guys. Bye.